And we're going to start in the buyer guide. Hang on, I'm going to move some stuff around so I can see you guys. Let's see this form so we can go through it. We'll take turns reading through it like we did the others. So this is, and this opens up like a book, okay, when you have the buyer guide. It's printed on 11 by 17 paper, so it's a large booklet form. So as we're going through this, you need to realize that a lot of the pages are in a different order because when it's printed into a book format, it brings things up in kind of a little different way. So just be aware of that, especially I think it's the biggest ones on the steps when we're on the stairs. Also note that I'm happy to customize this for you and put your picture and your name and phone number in this little section above the ERA logo. If you want that done, send me a text and I'll squeeze it in during the week. I'm starting to do agent year-end interviews, so between that and everything else, my schedule's pretty tight, but send me the note and I'll send it to you. But this is the front page of the welcome guide, or the buyer guide is what I call it. Then it says just a little quote, "The best journey always leads you home." And it's just a pretty little picture of a chair on a patio that makes you want to live there. Okay, then it goes into, and what the purpose of the buyer guide is to say, buyers, here's the steps that you'll go through when you purchase a property. And so I'll read this first page and then we'll turn it to you guys. And if you have questions or comments as we go through this, then make sure you ask me, because your buyers will be asking you those plus more questions. So, alrighty, find your dream home one step at a time. Buying a home is one of the biggest, most exciting purchases you will ever make, and yet it can also be one of the most overwhelming and confusing. That's why you need an experienced local market expert on your side to help you through the process and make it easier. Together we will identify what you are looking for in your new home and make a plan to find it and finance it. I'll introduce you to our innovative suite of search tools, help you get pre-approval. Wow, I'm surprised nobody's told me they have an error in there yet. Help you with pre-approval, or help you get pre-approval. I choose one of those and take it out for financing, and get you ready for your move toward home ownership. Once we find your perfect home, we will develop a strategic and competitive approach to ensure that you receive the best price and terms possible. I will then work with you through the contract process to help finalize all of the details of your transaction. As your expert real estate agent, I am here to make your home buying experience go smoothly and end successfully. I look forward to working with you every step of the way to make finding your dream home a reality. So that's just the introduction. And then you get into these stairs, and you're only going to see the odd numbers because the next page has the evens, but it's the steps to home ownership. So choose your real estate agent is number 1. Number 2, meet with your lender for pre-approval. Number 3, identify your wants and needs. Number 4, focus on your home search. Number 5, present an offer. Number 6, negotiate your terms. Number 7, transition from contract to close. And number 8, enjoy your new home. So those are the steps, and then the pages going forward from here go into detail on each of these steps. So since Chris is sitting in here with me, I'm going to let her read step number 1, and then we'll start going to you guys.
Okay. Step 1, choose your real estate agent. Ensure you find the right home at the right price with the best terms. The real estate business has changed considerably and has become more complicated over the years. Having an experienced and knowledgeable real estate professional on your side is more important than ever. By choosing an ERA Brokers Consolidated agent, you will gain access to a broader yet more targeted market, as well as have access to the necessary research, comparisons, and trends to help you make informed decisions. Once you have selected your real estate agent, you will be introduced to the wide range of exclusive services and technology tools that ERA Brokers Consolidated has developed to ensure you get the right home at the right price with the best terms.
Okay, questions or comments on that? So step one, choose your real estate agent. And just choose them from ERA, right? You're the one that's giving this to them. Your picture can be on the front of it. Hopefully they'll choose you. Okay, step two. I've got to see who's even on the call here with me. Hang on just a second. Kelsey, do you want to read step two?
And this is Sarah.
Kelsey with a K? Pardon me? Did somebody have a question?
Yeah, Diane, this is Sarah. I'm actually driving around, so I can't read right now.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for letting me know.
Thank you. Yep.
Okay, Kelsey with a K, do you want to read step two for us?
Oh, it's all
Sure,
good.
sure, I can do that.
I just
Okay,
paid that
actually-
$99.23.
Can you see it, or do I need to get somebody else to read? Kelsey, you're muted. Do you have the ability to read, or do I need to pick somebody else?
Hey,
Okay,
Diane.
that's okay. Fred? Yes.
Diane, this is Wayne. I was just going to say I can read if you want.
Okay, Wayne, go ahead. Step two.
Step two, a pre-approval is a written statement from a lender confirming that a borrower qualifies for a specified loan amount under the lender's guidelines. While this does not guarantee a loan, it tells how much you can afford. It also lets the seller know that you are a good candidate for financing under the terms. This puts you in a much stronger negotiating position. You may have already selected your preferred mortgage lender. If not, each ERA Broker Consolidated agent is connected to a network of First Colony Mortgage Service financing professionals who have access to a wide variety of unique lending options and the most advanced mortgage technology available. Either way, we will see to it that you enjoy a flawless experience through impeccable execution and timely communication throughout the process.
Awesome. This does not mean you can only tell them about First Colony agents, lenders, okay? You can come in if you want. Do you want to come in here, or you have other things?
Just checking.
Okay, sounds good. So you can give them information on as many lenders as you want to. Make sure that you're providing lenders that they have a choice, okay? But we do have a partnership with First Colony, and that's why I've put them in here. Any questions or comments on this meet with your lender for pre-approval step?
I do have a question on that, Diane. So I
Yes.
know First Colony is, more accessible up here in Utah and Salt Lake County, but what if the buyer is somewhere, down, not close to the area here, maybe in a different county further south?
Yeah, just ask them what they're more comfortable with. Lenders are, they can work long distance very easily and work
Okay.
through Zoom and things just like we do. But, your buyers might already have a really good affiliation with their credit union or something that they're really comfortable with already. If not, then if they feel more comfortable with a lender that's closer to where they are, that's great. You're only going to give them suggestions if they don't already have a possibility, okay?
Okay, perfect.
And
Thanks.
you can suggest people in those other areas, no problem. Who wants to do number 3 for me?
Taken.
Awesome, thanks.
Step 3, identify your wants and needs. Discover what is most important to you. What are you looking for in your next home? Are there specific amenities you can't live without? These are important questions to ask yourself as you begin the home search process. Your ERA Brokers Consolidated agent will open the door to a bigger and better real estate market. We will create a plan that will allow you to find a home that's as unique as you.
Awesome, so now we're going to start on the home search. This is identifying your wants and needs. This is the interview we talked about on Friday. Get them in, identify what they want, create a plan that works for them. Awesome. Okay, who wants to do focus on the home search, step 4?
I can.
Awesome, thanks.
Focus on your home search. Utilize our tools and expertise to simplify the process. As you begin your home search, your ERA agent will provide you with access to all properties currently listed in the Multiple Listing Service, MLS. By constantly monitoring properties that come on the market, price changes, and appraised values, your expert agent will guide you through this ever-changing market. When you find a property that you would like to visit, your agent will then work with the seller's agent to coordinate a day and time that works with your schedule. Additionally, ERA Brokers Consolidated has a wide array of innovative technology tools that your agent can help you use to make sure you never miss an opportunity.
Awesome. So do you guys know what those tools might be?
Virtual reality.
Okay, virtual reality. When we did ZAP training a few weeks back, what's a tool in ZAP that can keep them? One service. What's a tool in ZAP that helps let them know what's out there so they don't miss an opportunity that I taught you guys to do? Set them up on a search. Okay, set them up on a search in ZAP so they're automatically emailed every time a new property that fits their criteria comes on the market. There's an ERA app, and you can share your app with them. Remember, that's one of the steps that I gave you in ZAP training as well, was going in, putting the contact in, and then you drop down the More button, and under More, one of the steps is to share the search website with them. So make sure you're doing those things. Those are innovative technology tools that keep things and opportunities in front of them, okay? And if you missed that ZAP training, it's in the forum. When you get into the forum, there's, under my favorites, you'll see Velocity, and there's 8 or 9 videos in there right now, and the ZAP training is one of them. Okay, step 5, present an offer. Who wants to do this one for us?
I'll do it, Diane.
Okay, there was 2 volunteers. One of you do this one, and the next one do the next one.
Go ahead.
Okay. Before an offer is even written, your real estate agent will provide you with a snapshot of the marketplace, including listings in the area that are comparable with the property you want. This important information will help you to establish an appropriate starting offer and ensure that your offer stays competitive. Your agent will then write the offer and present it with the necessary research and documentation to the seller's agent for review. Paperless documentation. The home sale process can generate hundreds of pages and paperwork that must be exchanged, delivered, and saved. ERA Brokers Consolidated uses a leading paperless solution through DocuSign to securely manage your documents. This cloud-based program allows everyone involved in your transaction to securely manage, share, and sign documents through mobile technology. Your agent can even add your loan officer and escrow company.
So yes, they can be added in ARTI, as well as you can send copies of the documents through the DocuSign program directly to them, even if they're not signers. They're read-only people or need a copy of the document. So one of the things on this, I had a phone call yesterday, an email from one of our agents, newer agents, that's like, I did a CMA, will you look at it? I did a CMA, made an offer, my offer wasn't accepted. How come? Well, we're in a whole different market right now. So while we want to do a snapshot of what has sold to make sure that the sales price is a good, you're offering an appropriate sales price, these days, sometimes your buyer has to be willing to pay above appraised value to even be considered to get their offer accepted. So you've got to know the market and educate your agent or your client in the market, the current market. And you can do this by showing them. If you pull up solds in the MLS in the price range they're looking at, depending on what it is, you'll probably find that the homes are selling for 105 to 110% of the list price. So sometimes it's really difficult, and you just need to prepare. We talked about this on Friday. Prepare your buyers for this, presenting an offer and having a really competitive offer when you turn it in. Questions or comments about that? Okay, the whole purpose of this piece of documentation is for you to have something to give to your buyers, to give them basic information to tie them to you, okay? That's the purpose of this. Okay, step 6. Whoever my other volunteer was. I can't see your faces. Okay, Scott, thanks.
Negotiate your terms, use a strategic approach to reach an agreement. The number one skill home buyers expect from their real estate agent is negotiation expertise. There's an art to negotiation so that both parties reach a satisfactory outcome in the transaction. Your agent will provide you with a comprehensive plan of how they will negotiate strategically on your behalf to ensure that you will receive the best price and terms possible.
Okay, so another just little piece that they need to be aware that an important piece, negotiation, that you do for them. Sometimes this information is really good for you to give to sellers too, when they say, well, you know, will you discount your fee? And then you can go in and say, I'm doing all of these things for you. And don't be too quick to lower your fee, because you guys have a lot of work that you do. Sometimes as agents, you even forget how much work it requires. And you'll learn as you sell more. So, all righty. Anybody else want to read?
I can pick up step 7.
Okay, Chris is going to do 7, Fred, and then I'll let you do 8.
Okay.
Transition from contract to close. Work with our team to ensure a seamless experience. When your offer to purchase your home has been accepted, this means you're under contract. Now you have a specific period of time to secure your financing, get your paperwork in order, and do your due diligence, which includes getting a home inspection. Since this purchase is one of the largest you'll ever make, it is crucial to have a team of real estate professionals to ensure that you are supported throughout your entire home buying experience. Your ERA Brokers Consolidated agent will help you assemble this team.
Awesome. Any questions, comments on that? That due diligence time and financing and appraisal deadline, once you've gone under contract, is really the most critical time in a contract, and your expertise in getting them through that will be very helpful. Okay, this is still a continuation of number 7, Carissa, so you get to keep going.
Got it. Managing the details. In addition to conducting a final walkthrough and setting up utilities in advance.
Let's see.
Am I on the wrong one?
Yeah, step 7, transition from contract to close.
I'm reading the paper.
Okay.
I was just on the wrong one. Okay, step 7, transition from contract to close. We have already discussed choosing your real estate agent and your lender. Let's talk about other team members. Appraiser. Your lender will hire an appraiser to determine the value of the home, and you can request a copy of the report. If the home doesn't appraise at the contract price or higher, your mortgage may be affected. Your real estate agent will discuss options and formulate a strategy with you. If you are purchasing the home without a mortgage, you may hire your own appraiser. Home inspector. A professional inspection of the home, from the age of the appliances to the basic maintenance needs, will help you make an informed purchasing decision. As a local market expert, your ERA agent will be able to help you find a reputable and reliable home inspector. Escrow title company. Title insurance protects the lender and/or owner against lawsuits or claims against the property that result from disputes over the title. Title companies also maintain escrow accounts. These contain the funds needed to close on the home to ensure that this money is used only for settlement and closing costs, and will conduct the formal settlement and closing on the home. At the closing, a settlement agent from the title company will bring all the necessary documentation, explain it to the parties, collect closing costs, and distribute monies. Finally, the title company will ensure that the new titles, deeds, and other documents are filed with the correct entities.
Awesome. Any questions on these three that we included in here? There may be many, many more, but any questions on these three? Okay, cool. More on step 7. Fred, I'll let you start. I think Chris has had her share. Third page of
I
step
thought I could
7.
just wrap it up with 8. Darn it. All right, transition from contract to close continued. Managing the details. In addition to conducting a final walkthrough and setting up utilities in advance of your move-in, you will want to meet with your loan officer to go over the final closing costs and other financial considerations. As your closing date approaches, your ERA agent will work with you to finalize the details of the transaction. Settlement and closing. Settlement is when you meet with your escrow title officer, your ERA agent, and possibly your lender to sign all of the required legal documents. The purpose of these documents is to confirm the terms of the agreement between you and the lender, confirm the terms of the sale between you and the seller, and confirm the documents that will transfer the property title to you. Closing happens when your lender funds the loan and the property is recorded into your name. This typically happens within 24 hours after settlement. At the end of settlement, you will be given a complete set of closing documents. After closing, you will be given the keys to your new home.
Okay, they don't normally get keys at the settlement table, okay? It has to fund and record before keys are given. So good information for them. Fred, I'm still going to let you do step 8, so go ahead.
Okay. In step 8, final step, enjoy your new home. The best is yet to come. Now that your home is officially yours, the fun part begins. Do you need to hire a moving company, painter, plumber, or any other professional? This publication includes a list of some of our favorite vendors in the area to make sure life in your new home is off to a great start.
Alrighty, so I put out a call in the spring when I was doing this to agents to give me preferred vendors. These are the ones that I was given. If you have anybody that you guys use that you ever want added to this preferred vendor list, let me know. And this is also what I was talking about for you, Soraya, that you're going to want to be able to go in and make changes to people in your area. But anyway, so here, this gives them different type of vendor services that they may use, okay? I don't have anybody under pest control. We probably should have that. Don't have anybody under window washing, and that's like critical to me. So, but when I get suggestions from you agents, then I'll add them in here. So, and then behind that, there's a glossary of real estate terms, because we use a lot of words that they're like, what is that? So if they decide to, they can read through this glossary of real estate terms that may help them understand their transaction better. And then there's a back page. This is the back page to the publication. So it really is a nice publication. I do need to fix the grammatical error on the number 1. Any questions, comments about this publication?
I have one, Diane.
Yes.
You talked about this, the whole purpose of this is to give our potential client or client something to remember us, to ask questions and do the interview. Do we give a hard copy of this or just a PDF electronic?
No, I wouldn't PDF it out. I would.
So pretty.
I would print it out. It's a really beautiful publication. You can come in here. We can print them out for you here.
And it really needs to go together because of the print.
Let me unshare the screen really quick and I'll show you this. Okay. So here's the publication, but I'm going to go to the steps page. When you open it up, the steps come together. Okay? So I would definitely say you guys should just get 10 of these and just keep them in your arsenal of tools to be able to give to people, because
It's nice
if,
to like get it bound, like get the. Like,
yeah, if you want to get your, if you want to take it, have me send it to you in a PDF, and then you can take it to professional printer and get it professionally bound, maybe do a harder cardstock on the front and back covers, whatever you want to do with it. If you ask me to print them, you're just going to get them in our normal paper off the press. But a good question. Any other questions? Comments? Okay, I'm going to share my screen again. We'll go into the next. The next fire plan. So this is another one. I send it to you in Word and in PDF so that you guys can change it, because you can add or subtract anything you want from this plan, okay? I made it so that you can put your deadlines at the top of it to kind of give you a reminder. I know one of my agents took this and made more space at the top so that they could put the client's name, the buyer's name at the top of it as well. So, hey, this is just for you guys to do. I developed all these things for myself when I was selling real estate, so I'm just sharing it all with you. Honestly, most of this stuff I give you guys was something I just developed myself, because I was never given this stuff to use. So I just developed it, which you guys can do too, because I'm sure you can do a much better job than I do. But anyway, this is kind of day-by-day schedule so that you don't forget what you're supposed to do, okay? So when I developed this program, I was using Top Producer, which is a really great plan. And you can go in and you can create your own plans, which I did in there, and then every day it would just remind me what I needed to do. But if you want with this, you can just print it out and staple it into the front of the folder for the clients and check it every day and make sure that you are doing everything on this list, okay? And extra things if you have things you want to add to it. So this is so you don't ever forget a form, okay? Get the signed buyer broker agreement, get the signed buyer due diligence, get the signed wire fraud disclosure, get the signed home inspection form, get the signed document receipt, okay? So the document receipt is a receipt, it's in the multiple listings forms, and you mark everything you've given to the buyer, and then you have them sign saying, yes, we did receive these documents. We require document receipts signed, okay? So you can either get it signed at this point, or if you're doing the contract on the same day, the REPC on the same day, then you can maybe do the document receipt after it's all accepted, and then you're marking check boxes for all of these items and having them sign it. You don't sign this, they sign this. I have seen where some agents use that document receipt and they sign that they have delivered the documents to the buyer. What's the problem with that? What's the problem with you signing you've delivered them to the buyer instead of the buyer signing that they've received them?
Buyer can always dispute that.
Exactly. If they haven't signed that they've received them, you have no proof that they've received them, and they can dispute it. So make sure that you get this form saying where they've signed that they've received copies of everything they've signed, okay? Then upload all the documents into ARTI. Get a loan pre-approval letter, order the preliminary title report, okay? Get a fully executed real estate purchase contract. And these may or may not be in the proper order. This order preliminary title report I'd put after you have an accepted offer, okay? Fully executed real estate purchase contract. What do I mean by fully executed?
All parties signed.
Yep. It's all parties have signed it, okay? It's been accepted, okay? Fully executed real estate purchase contract, fully executed addendums. Upload the documents into ARTI. Get a copy of the REPC and addendums to the title company. Get a copy of the REPC and the addendums to the lender, okay? You cannot, even if you invite the title company and the lender into the ARTI transaction in the platform, you can't be guaranteed that they are going to utilize the ARTI platform like we want them to. I can tell you what lenders and title companies I know utilize the ARTI platform very well, but if you have a preferred lender, it may take time for you to teach them to use the ARTI platform so that they have access to all of this. So just to be sure, email copies of these documents to the title company and to the lender. Get all of the seller's property condition disclosures, the lead-based paint addendum, HOA disclosures, preliminary title report, leases, water, FERPTA, any extra seller disclosures that are coming from the seller, you have to make sure that those have all been collected prior to the seller's disclosure deadline and that you've gotten them to your buyer, okay? So this is get them from the seller. The next one's deliver them to the buyer, okay? Fully executed seller's property condition disclosure. So you gave it to the buyer here. It's not fully executed until what?
Buyer's fine.
Yeah, the buyer has acknowledged that they have received it, okay? Sorry about this little thing that keeps coming up. Alrighty, fully executed lead-based paint disclosure if the home's older than 1978. And then a signed document receipt saying that the buyers received copies of all of these things, okay? Upload all the documents into ARTI. Review the preliminary title report with the buyer, okay? It's an important thing to do at this point, and it's important to do it to make sure that there aren't any liens or encumbrances against that property that need to be dealt with during the closing process, okay? Call the buyer and give them a progress report. I don't care. I know they have ARTI. I know that they can see it happening. You still need to be calling them on a regular basis, okay? Assist the buyer in scheduling a home inspection. Make sure the appraisal has been ordered. Make sure the home warranty has been ordered. Follow up with the lender. Attend the home inspection. Send a utility sheet to the buyer so that they know who they need to call to get utilities turned on in their name. Give the buyer a progress report. Follow up with the lender. Make sure the appraisal has been completed. Schedule a walkthrough, that final walkthrough with the buyer and the seller. So you find out when your buyer wants to do it, then you've got to call the selling agent, the listing agent, excuse me, and make sure that it works for the sellers to have that done. You have to do that with the appraisal too. So the appraiser may call you to do the appraisal, or he may call the listing agent. But if he calls you, then you need to make sure that the listing agent has that information so they know when the appraiser's coming. In the home inspection process, that home inspector is going to set a date with your buyers to do that home inspection. As their agent, you need to then call the listing agent and say the buyers have scheduled a home inspection for such and such a date. Will you please confirm with your sellers that that's going to work, okay? It's just all a bunch of little detailed work, but it's got to be done, okay? Follow up with the lender, give the buyers a progress report. You notice that this changed from 8 days after going under contract to 3 days before. This, when it goes to before, this is like before closing. You guys can set your own schedule. This is just what I had set up and what printed out from Top Producer. Give the buyers a progress report 3 days before. Review closing disclosure statement, okay? One of the things that I don't have in here that I would suggest you put in 3 days before, write this down, is make sure the final CD, the final closing disclosure, has gone out to your buyer, because it's required that the buyer have received that 3 days prior to settlement, or you are not going to meet your settlement deadline. It will not happen By law, buyers have to receive that final closing disclosure from the lender 3 days prior to settlement. So you need to check and make sure that's been done. Review the closing disclosure with the buyer. Make sure it's what they expect it to be. Schedule settlement with the buyer and the title company, okay? So make sure everybody's on board. Do the final walkthrough. Up here, you scheduled it. Here, you're going to do the final walkthrough. Anytime 3 to 7 days prior to the settlement, or even the day before. You can't, what's the furthest away from settlement that you can do the final walkthrough? Not more than how many days?
7.
Correct. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, so you can't do it 8 days, 9 days, 10 days before settlement. Any from 7 to settlement, you can do that final walkthrough. I would suggest not doing it any later than 3 days before, so if there's issues, you can get it all figured out prior to the settlement. Purchase a closing gift for the buyer. Attend settlement with the buyer. You guys, you need to be at the settlements. The only time you shouldn't be there or can't be there would be if they live out of state. Sometimes the lender just overnights or emails all the documents to the buyer, and then they go to a notary and sign all of them, and then they overnight the documents because it has to be a wet signature on closing documents. They overnight them back. That doesn't take away your obligation to review the closing and the money with them, okay? And so, but if that's not the case, you guys need to be there. And if ever you're sick when you have a settlement scheduled, or it ends up that you're on vacation, ask me, ask another agent. Somebody needs to be there with your buyer, okay? Deliver the closing gift to the buyer, deliver keys to the buyer, send a thank you note to the listing agent, thanking them for the transaction and hope, you know, something, I hope we can do business again. You were easy to work with. Thank you for helping us get this worked out. If there were issues, thanks for helping me work through those issues, whatever, but send them a thank you. I used to put a car wash coupon in with my thank you coupons, or to my thank you notes to the other agent, but send them something. And then you need to assign a follow-up program to that buyer in Zap, because now they're done with the transaction. You need to go back into Zap and maybe tag them as a past buyer, and then you need to get them in a program where you're still staying in touch with them so that they'll refer people to you. That's another thing you could put on your list that I don't have on here, is go into Zap, and there's a place on the More button that you can ask them for a referral. Go in and ask them for a referral, okay? And then get them all set up in Zap. Okay, that's a lot of steps. Let's talk about any questions you guys have on any of these steps. Make sure you completely understand what the different steps are for. Okay, sounds like you guys know it. Is this more steps than you thought you would have when you got your real estate license? Is it more work than you thought it would be? It's a lot more work, and it's a lot more steps. It's not just a matter of writing a piece of paper and having it close and you get paid, which I think a lot of agents come into the business thinking it's that simple. But it's a lot of work, and you are the person that has to keep this whole process together and get it to close. So a real estate agent's biggest value is from contract to close. And that's what all of this is. So anyway, that's the buyer plan, the buyer guide. You guys get in touch with me if you need anything or want me to print these, if you want your picture on them, if whatever you need, let me know. Okay? Have a great Monday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Diane.
Hey, talk to you later.